Hello team. So in this video we are going to cover about the basic SQL server topics, because whenever I want to connect with SQL server, first of all we need to have some hands on about that particular. So that is the reason I am going to cover few basics from SQL server. Nothing new here. The topics whatever we covered in SQL here also will be the same. Wherever there will be a slight modification, I am going to cover them. So observe carefully. So going forward, this is the database that we are going to use for the entire training. So first of all you have to install a software. I already given the list at the earlier of our training. So we have to install SQL Server and as well as SQL Server Management Studio. Guys, maybe in market we have the latest version 16, 17 something is there, but I prefer either 14 or the lower versions because these are lightweight where you can easily manage. I personally prefer the 14 version because this is lightweight and that is easy to manage also. So while raising the ticket, even if you are raising for our Cognizant what we can call IT help desk or anybody, so mention clearly this should be only 14 version. So whenever they are installing, they have to install server and management studio. This management studio will manage the servers. So in our computer, server should be there and parallelly management studio also should be there. So the people who want to download this from the internet, so they can download like this. I am going to show, as I am going to show you now. Sorry. Yeah. So go to Google and search for SQL Server 2014. So here if you click this, so it will show you language. So by default you can click download. So guys, whether your operating system is of 32-bit or 64-bit, according to that you need to select this. So almost nowadays every laptop and desktop are supporting 64-bit, but operating system type also matters here. So that is the reason, first go and check your PC settings from your My Computer, right click and properties. There you can see what is the operating system type, whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit. So if it is 64, you can select Express 64. That means this is the server Express version we are selecting. So this is for free. So if you scroll down, at last again Management Studio software is there. As I said, there will be two, right? A server and Management Studio. The first one will be for server Express version. So Management Studio also you need to select 64 or 32 according to your what we can call, according to your operating system. So you can click and those two will get download and you can install, and personally reach me while installing. If you get any queries, reach me out, okay, don't worry. So like that you have to install SQL Server into your PC. So when your SQL Server is installed, from run you can open this run and type SSMS in short form of SQL Server Management Studio, SSMS. So and press hit a OK key, then you are going to get this SQL Server. So now, so it will ask for server name. As I said, we need to install server also, right? So whenever we are installing server in our local computer, always the server name will be our PC name. Server name will be our PC name. So if anybody are seeing something like this empty, you can click on this arrow mark and there will be a browse for more option. If you click this, you can see database engine. If you click this, you can see what is your server name. So this is not going to be same for everyone, okay? According to our installation steps, it is going to be selected. So some people can have /express version or something, SQL Express or something. So somehow you find out the server name. If you found any difficulty, do let me know, okay? So after this one, you will have authentication type. So there will be two authentications, guys. One is Windows authentication, the second one is SQL Server authentication. So if you select Windows authentication, it won't ask for any user ID or password because already we are logged in into Windows. So the same authentication will be applied for this one also. That means whenever you select Windows authentication, that means no user ID or password is required to connect with server. So suppose if you select SQL Server authentication, so while installing the software, system will ask you for two things, whether you want to use Windows authentication or mixed mode authentication. mixed mode. Mixed in the sense Windows and SQL Server authentication both will be there inside this particular mode. So at the time of this mixed mode, it will ask you to select some password. The same password you have to give it here. Username will be by default SA, SQL authentication in short form, or SQL Server authentication you can take. This password should be equal to the password when you selected at the time of installation. When we select mixed mode at the time of installation, it will ask for some password. The same password you have to enter here. And one more thing you should remember. So this SQL Server Management Studio will help to connect with SQL servers. So that may be my local computer, that may be my network computer, that may be in remote cloud also. So you have to enter those credentials here. Don't forget this one, okay? So whichever the server that we are trying to connect, the same server credentials need to be passed here. So when this server name and user ID password are correct, so it is going to be connected here. So here you can see only one window similar to our Visual Studio, that is what Object Explorer. So this Object Explorer will give you graphical representation of everything. That means you can see the database graphically, you can see the database in a folder view. So you can see tables, you can see the columns inside the table, everything you can see graphically here. So this is one way. Otherwise you can simply select Windows authentication and you can click on connect. So by anyhow you can easily connect to the server by using this SQL Server Management Studio. So guys, if you see this first folder, that is what databases. If you open this, here you can find the list of databases. Just now I installed the server, that is the reason no databases are there, and only except this system databases. We should not touch the system databases. Now we are going to create a database, and now we are going to create a table. I am going to just demonstrate and compare with the normal ANSI SQL which we already covered. So and what is the change here, that I am going to cover you now. So first of all, whenever I want to I want to write any SQL query, so either you can press Ctrl N, or else you can see there is an option here called new query. So you can click that, then you can see the query editor where you can type your queries and execute them. Okay guys, so first here let me create a database. So create database, some database name, example let me take some Office. So now I just want to execute my query. I can select this query which I want to execute. Either I can click this button, that is one option. Otherwise you can use a shortcut called Alt E to execute. Okay, or else our regular shortcut similar to Visual Studio, that is what F5. So you can use any of the way. Either you can click the button, or else you can press this Alt E, or else you can press F5 also. So I am going to use any of the shortcut. I am using Ctrl E. So in the output editor you can see commands completed successfully. This is what the result you can see. Now I just want to check whether my database is really created or not. So you can come to this Object Explorer. Guys, if Object Explorer was not visible, you can press F7. Sorry, yeah, F7. Or else you can go to this view and select, sorry, F8 is not F7. So if you press F8, you can see this Object Explorer. Now directly already databases folder was opened, but my Office database is not there, because after opening we executed this command. So we need to refresh it. You can simply right click here and select an option refresh. So you can see Office database here. So the database was visible now. If you open this, you can see a tables folder. As of now, no tables are there. Now I just want to create a table now. So how to create a table in the sense, now you can see this guys, create table, suppose users ID integer, name varchar of 20, age integer example. So guys, here if you see excuse me, in particular SQL plus or Oracle which are already used, their semicolon is mandatory, but here semicolon is optional thing. That is the first one. And second one, if I execute this particular query, this is not going to be saved in my Office database, because here we have lot many databases are there. That is the reason what you need to do before executing every query, not only this, going forward also, before executing every query you have to write use what is the database. Okay, so you can select the database, then you can use a go command and you can continue. Like this you have to write. Go means execute as of now. Then it is going to take it as a separate step. Otherwise you can also execute like this also, no issue at all, but properly, in case if you want to write, you have to write go also. So it is difficult to write every time use database name, every query. For every query you have to do this. Otherwise, so if you are executing without this one, this table is going to be created under database, predefined database called master. You can see this one. Master is predefined database, system database. Okay. So whenever we want to target our database, so inside that one my query to be executed, instead of writing this use every time, so here there is a drop down, you can select your database, then you no need to do this one. Okay. Option 1 is you can select your database here and you can write queries without writing this use. Otherwise, for every query you have to write this use statement. I don't suggest this one, I just want to use like this only. But you have to select your database, otherwise your table is going to be created under database called master. Okay, let me execute. Before this, let me add one more point, guys. Okay, let me execute, later I will tell you that. Execute, you can see the table command completed successfully, that means the table was created. Now you can right click on this tables folder under Office database. If you refresh, you can see users table here. Under this you can see the columns, so ID, name and age. If any primary keys are there, you can see under this keys folder. So like that everything you can see it graphically. Okay, so now the major difference you can see at the time of renaming of a table, remaining everything, insert, update, delete, the same syntax you can use. Okay, so the same syntax is whatever we learned so far, the same thing you can use it here also. Only thing is rename syntax will be different from whatever we learned and for this SQL server. Suppose an example, here I just want to rename these users as some employees. Okay, now I need to write sp underscore rename, sp underscore rename. So in these two single quotes you need to pass what is the existing table name and what is the new table name that I want to create, employees. So now whenever you execute, you won't see the successful command, it is going to give you a warning that if any already predefined or not predefined, if any saved scripts are there, you wrote some SQL script, there you have to modify your name manually, otherwise your script may fail to execute. That is what the error message, warning message it is going to give you now. So now you can see it is going to give you a caution message. Changing any part of an object name could break the scripts which are already saved. So there you need to change it manually. But now you can see again tables folder, refresh, you can see this users table was become employees. Users table was become employees. So like that you can rename. This is one change you can observe. So in DDL command. So and one more thing, in case if you want to rename the column name, suppose instead of this ID I just want to name it as serial number, so then I can write whatever the table name dot what is the existing column name, existing column name is ID by a dot. So after that what is the new name that you want to give, serial number. So since it is a column rename operation, additionally I have to write it as column, then system will understand it is a column rename operation. Under this table, this is the old name, this is the new name, this is a column rename operation. Now again the same error you will, warning message you can see it here. So changing of any part of object name can break the script again. That means that is just a warning message, that's not an error. So again right click on the tables and refresh, you can see this employees folder. So there you can see serial number instead of ID. So this is how you can rename. So one more thing you can do this, guys. Here in SQL Server there is a shortcut to get the details of the table, sp_help, and you can enter the table name. Then it is going to give you the details of the table. You can see. So sp_help of employees, then it is going to give you this one. What is the table name? Whether it is user defined table or system table, at what time it is created, what are the columns it contain, what are the data types, what is the length of the data type, varchar 20 it is. If any primary keys are there, identity keys are there, you can see it here. So these are the shortcuts and the changes you need to observe from our SQL, whatever we learned there, and for this SQL Server also. Okay, so we have some more where we can cover after our ADO.NET topics. So at that time I am going to cover few more things. So I hope this topic is clear. If any queries, please reach me out. Thank you.